What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? This is Shoebooty Sports coming at you Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. That's Bradley D. Brown on the other. Say what's up, Bradley D. Brown.
How's it going? Breaking out the middle initial, I see.
It just has a nice ring to it. Just throwing a little zest on the intro this episode. All right, before we get started, y'all know the drill. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit your screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, Shoebooty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoebooty Sports. Let's talk some college baseball to start the show. It's been interesting. We can touch up on softball a little bit, but college baseball's really all I've watched the last couple of days when I have been able to sit in front of the TV, which hasn't been much, but just enough to catch some action. Uh, Start with our Arkansas Razorbacks. They go 3-0 in the regionals that they hosted. Take care of business against North Dakota State and Creighton. And yeah, they're on to the Super Regionals. They are the highest remaining seed in the NCAA tournament. Make of that what you want. I don't think it matters really at this point. I mean, it helps that you
No.
get to host games, but I mean, 1 and 2 ousted in the regionals. Vanderbilt, which I know you won the SEC tournament, still surprised you were a top seed, number one overall seed. They get ousted. Texas done. Texas eliminated by UT San Antonio. So that's very
Everybody's
interesting.
seen that one coming.
Yeah, very interesting stuff there. Uh, Congratulations, UT San Antonio. I think that's awesome, just as an Arkansas fan and guy that lives in the state of Arkansas, growing up not liking Texas Longhorn sports. Uh, yeah, UT San Antonio eliminating Texas. The Little Rock Trojans gave LSU
Damn.
a scare. I was a Little Rock Trojan fan for the last couple of days. It was fun to see them. One, they get the toughest draw in the tournament. They have to play what I think is the most talented team in the tournament in LSU,
Yes.
and they get beat in game one, and then just go on a tear get to get back to LSU in the regional final and beat them in the second game and to force an elimination game between both of them, a game three, and looked good early. Went up 5-1 at one point, but then it was just all LSU. LSU brought in that freshman pitcher, shut Little Rock down. Uh, their best opportunity last night was when they got the bases loaded. It was a 1-run game at this point,
Yep.
and pitcher got the guy to chase a curveball in the dirt to basically get him out of the jam because he was struggling at that point. The pitcher, but LSU got out of it, and uh, they scored another run. Little Rock brought it within one. That was as close as they got the rest of the way.
Yep.
LSU scored another run and then blew it open in the last inning. And I kind of stopped paying attention after that. I was like, yeah, it's over. Really,
Yeah.
when they went up two late, I was like, yeah, it's over. It was a good run. And after that home run, my coworker even texted me. He's like, well, they had a good run. I,
Yeah.
I kind of felt the same way. I was like, yeah, it's over at this point. And LSU took care of business, but the Little Rock Trojans gave what I think is the best team in the tournament a legitimate scare. And I was pulling hard for Little Rock for two reasons. I like to see an in-state team be successful in the in the sporting world, especially a smaller program like Little Rock. and obviously, and it's just an area I'm from. And also, I didn't want um, my alma mater and yours to have to play them, to have to see LSU. So I was like, okay, this is a win-win here. No more LSU to worry about, and Little Rock gets to advance. That would have been very cool. Didn't happen. Didn't expect it to happen. Still, a very impressive showing by Little Rock. I thought that was
Uh,
pretty.
yeah, I think there's a lot of Little Rock Trojan fans last night. Just because, how dominant LSU has been historically in baseball. Yeah, everybody, of course, everybody was rooting for them to lose. Um, but I don't think I've seen a series that ended in a more entertaining fashion than the one last night between Ole Miss and Murray State. Did you watch any of that game?
I paid attention to it. I didn't watch much. I saw that Murray State was up, what, seven? LSU
Hey,
came back, cut it, made it a one-run game.
yeah, it was laughable. Yeah, I think they had an 8-run lead going into the seventh inning, and of course, it's the final freaking it's the final game in the regional. Of course, your pitching's exhausted at that point. And yeah, Murray State's was really exhausted. I think their pitchers were going an average like an inning, maybe two. But their last guy that was in there, once he lost the feel for the zone, yeah, it was hard to watch because he walked like three or four straight batters, walked in a couple of runs, let them get a couple of base hits, and I think they scored 5 or 6 runs in the seventh inning to make it a ball game again. And Ole Miss claws all the way back to 1 run down, and of course their fans are going wild, and they're confident they're going to win, and then they don't. And I thought that was very entertaining.
Of course, it's in Oxford. That makes it even better and funnier. Yeah, but yeah, I did too. I thought maybe Ole Miss would come back and win it. Uh, they didn't. Murray State held on, got the win, and they're moving on. I think it's their first ever super regional, right?
Yes. Yep.
Going back to talking about LSU's dominance, I heard this stat last night. I guess this was the year. Is Paul Skeens a rookie? He's a rookie, right?
No, he had a rookie season last year.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's right. Because he was rookie of the year, correct?
Correct.
All right, so that draft that he came out was the number one overall pick. I didn't realize this, or I'd forgotten it. LSU is the first program ever to have the number one and number two overall picks. Basically, not LSU, just in general, the Major League Baseball draft. It's never had the number one and number two overall picks be from the same team, and that was the case with LSU. Can't remember who number two was, but that's yeah, Paul Skeens, the obvious the star there. But yeah, number one and number two overall pick in the MLB draft from the same school. Yeah, it's probably a national champion and a dominant one at that, which LSU was then. Um, Going back to Arkansas sticking to baseball. Well, I'll talk about this in a sec. Is this as good of a shot DVH is going to have at winning a national championship?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's the
You got the two top seeds already out. Your other top contenders in the SEC have struggled a little bit. They didn't look as crisp as what they normally do, especially Tennessee. They barely squeaked by. Hopefully, we can take care of business whenever they come to town this weekend. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Speaking of, I think the Arkansas and Tennessee regional or super regional is going to be it's got to be the top super regional game. It's the best matchup out of them all because there's some pretty lopsided matchups with those upsets from Texas and Vandy and Ole Miss and all of those guys losing. I seen an article today saying somebody trying to make a case for the super regionals to be reseeded after the first round, which is ridiculous. I don't know why they would even do that, but this stuff's not going to happen every year. It's just, yeah, kind of freaky that it did. Um,
That's the thing with
yeah,
baseball, though. I mean, that's what's cool about baseball. You never know. It could. Baseball's a funny game like that. I mean, you got to win. It's a double elimination, and I like that because anything can happen in a single elimination tournament. I mean, just look at March Madness, in the
Yeah.
college basketball. But even then, it was nothing but one seeds in the Final Four. This you're right. This isn't going to happen every year, but some of these smaller schools can get hot and make a run in baseball. You're right. LSU didn't look as dominant as usual, but when it mattered, they came alive on pitching and hitting, and that's how you win championships in baseball and softball, I guess, for that matter. But yeah, Tennessee Arkansas is the most intriguing matchup for us, obviously, but it's more than just that's the best matchup because I mean that was a heck of a series when they played to end the regular season,
Yeah.
and obviously the rivalry there, the DVH, Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello, not liking each other, the history there, Vitello basically coming from Dave Van Horn's coaching tree, going on to have even I guess you could say resume wise more success than Dave
Yeah, he's
Van.
got a title.
Yeah,
He's more successful.
he's got a championship, a national championship. Uh, yeah, and obviously the two don't like each other. There's the famous or the viral clip of basically Dave Van Horn just tearing into him and having to kind of be separated. I mean, it was never going to get physical, but it was clearly heated. There was an interesting stare down between the two when they were exchanging lineups at home plate to last season to end things when Arkansas swept them. And then Tennessee goes on to win the national championship, and Arkansas ousted, or weren't they ousted in the regionals?
In the regional. Yeah.
Yeah, last year. So you sweep Tennessee to it basically in the regular season last year, and Tennessee goes on to win the national championship, and you get knocked out in the regional round. It's as good of a shot as DBH has at winning a national championship. I feel good about their chances beating Tennessee, especially with it being at Baum. LSU still the best team on the because if anything, LSU what does a championship team need to do? It needs to show that it can overcome adversity when things are tough, and they most certainly did that against Little Rock last night. They responded, not only losing but to be down 5-1, nearing the midway point of the game, and then you respond the way that you do. That's what championship teams are made of. So LSU is still my favorite, but no Texas. Even though I think Arkansas could beat Texas, but man, it's not as tough of a gauntlet with Texas out, Vanderbilt out. Still a tough way to go though. You still got to deal with Tennessee. You've got to get past them. So you can't worry about anybody else. I mean, you just got to focus on Tennessee, which they're going to do. Um, it's still a tough road no matter what, though. Uh, yeah, LSU would still be where my money is on the favorite to win the whole thing. But Arkansas's this is about as good of a chance as they're going to have to win it.
Yeah.
And they're playing good ball right now. That's what you got to do. Are you talented enough, and are you playing your best ball? Arkansas didn't look good in the SEC tournament. They've looked really good since. They didn't have a scare in the regional. Like it wasn't even.
They took care of business.
Yeah, Creighton didn't threaten. Arkansas did what they were supposed to do. Now, really show what you can do against a tougher opponent in Tennessee when they come to town Saturday. I believe, yeah, so Saturday, June 7th, I think 5 p.m. on ESPN is when they start. At least that's the schedule I saw before getting on here. Who do we have? Who do we have in that one?
And
We're
which
not
one?
picking against in that series? Who do we
Oh,
have in
we
that
we
situation?
swept Tennessee. I picked Arkansas.
I was going to follow that with there's no way we're picking against Arkansas with that kind of
No.
buildup, right? We have that kind of buildup and then turn around and say, you know what? I think they just find a way to blow it I think I'm gonna pick Tennessee. Yeah, I can't have that kind of buildup and then go another direction. I mean, I could just be a little contradictory. I'm gonna go Arkansas, and I think Tennessee will make it interesting. I'm gonna go Arkansas in 3 games. Let's say you. I think Arkansas takes game 1 Saturday.
Two
2.
games.
Okay. All right. Hope you're right. That would be a good sign if you can just eliminate Tennessee right away and then move on to the College World Series and take care of business. That'd be a good sign of me liking your chances when it comes to the College World Series. Um, in our fantasy football league, did you take part in the NCAA tournament or
I
excuse me,
was, but then
pick'ems?
yeah, I was, but then whenever I submitted my bracket, it timed out, and I don't know, it was pretty late, so I was like, screw it, I'll do this tomorrow before 11:30, and I didn't. Um, but I do remember my picks. I had Arkansas and LSU going to the finals with LSU winning.
Okay, so yeah, you were betting with your head basically and not your heart. That would
Yes.
be tough. Would you rather see Arkansas get eliminated in this round or get to the national championship game and lose?
Get the national championship there.
Yeah, I would too.
Completely just crushed my soul.
Yeah. I mean, we're
It'd just be
Razorback.
like 2018 all over again. I seen another snippet today. It's like, oh, well, who was the last non-SEC team to win a college title? Oh, that honor goes to Oregon State in 2018. I'm like, oh, so where's the follow-up paragraph of guy couldn't catch a foul ball? The stupid second baseman was where he wasn't supposed to be. Like, where's all this stuff?
Yeah. Are we blaming it on the second baseman? I don't even remember. I
Yes.
know it should have
Yes,
been
we are
caught.
blaming it on the second baseman. That's
Yes.
first base or right field's ball all day long. And second baseman comes in there playing Superman and fails.
Typically,
So
the right fielder should have that. Yeah. Um, it wasn't just an egregious error from what I remember. I've tried to subconsciously like just block it out of my mind, or from what I remember, because I didn't watch the game, I heard it on the radio.
I
Because I was
watched it.
yeah. But I went back and watched the clip because I heard everybody say, "How do you miss that kind of thing?" So I'm thinking it was like a little league. It hit your glove and it fell out. I remember watching and thinking, I mean, that's not as bad as people are making it out to be. But at the same time, still should have been caught.
Yep.
Um,
Then they go on that magic 2 out rally. Congratulations.
and that's the
Great
thing.
game.
They just complete after that. It was all Oregon State.
Yeah. Because
Just
they
the
knew it. They knew that they just got a second chance because they were supposed to lose.
I mean that was a complete collapse. A complete collapse. And I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It finds its way to creep back into our show because it's what it is. Arkansas needs to win a national championship, if anything, so I can talk about that rather than this. Winning one rather than blowing one. So
Yeah.
hopefully the Hogs can find a way to get it done in 2025. I would be. What would you do if Arkansas wins the national championship? How are you celebrating?
Well, probably gonna call in sick next day. But I don't know. I wouldn't go too wild, but yeah, I probably wouldn't be going to bed early either.
Yeah, I'd probably stay up and watch the coverage. I'd still probably be going to work just because I need the money. But yeah, I'd be very happy. I'd be in a very good mood for a couple of days, I would say.
I'm not gonna run out and get a tattoo or anything. Like,
No, I don't think I'd do that. But it would be very exciting nonetheless.
now,
Perhaps
if we win a national title in football, I'll get my whole freaking back tattooed. It's not
I think
gonna happen.
that's yeah, I think you're safe.
I'm safe.
Yeah, I think you're safe there. Uh, But the baseball team, we have expectations that Dave Van Horn should probably win one before he hangs it up. And but that's something that Dave Van Horn created with his success. It's like when Nolan Richardson, as he put it, created a monster, and you have to feed that monster, or it'll swallow you up. And I don't think that'll be the case with Arkansas. But we're not kicking Dave Van Horn out. I mean, he's got a job there as long as he wants at the U of A. So it's not like that. But we have these expectations because Dave Van Horn has had success for 20 years now. So that's why those expectations exist. And that's a good thing. It's a good kind of pressure. It's one that you should welcome as a competitor. All right. Let's talk Women's College World Series real quick. Oklahoma is definitely not going to be able to extend their record breaking streak of national championship. Ships. It ends at four. Texas
No
Tech.
5 feet.
Yeah, no five Pete. Didn't even know how to say that. It doesn't have the same ring to it as three Pete, right? But or even four Pete. Five Pete just sounds goofy. So I guess that was the softball guy's way of saying, all right, it ends here. We can't have anybody saying five Pete. So Texas Tech going to the national championship against Texas, right? It's an all Texas
Against
national
Texas.
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the Big 12 was really good in softball and has been for a while now. So I'm not surprised Texas Tech is in the final. Um, it was always Texas and Oklahoma the last several years as the best teams, and Oklahoma was always a step ahead of them. Last year, you could say, well, if Texas is going to get them, this is the year to do it, and then Oklahoma still found a way. Oklahoma was dominant. I mean, so dominant those first 3 years of that championship run. Found a way last season to win it. Still probably, just definitely championship worthy, obviously, but not as dominant as they had been those first 3 years of that championship run. And you could see them drop off even more this year. Well, not much more because it took everything from Texas Tech to beat them, their best, and they got it done. Uh, I haven't looked at the schedule for that. I'll watch some when I can, if I can, but let's pick it anyway. Uh, even though I've seen some of Texas, don't know anything about Texas Tech, except I know the Big 12 is typically, well, is really good at softball. Even still, even with, I know that's made the SEC stronger. You took the two best programs and moved them to the SEC. That's obviously going to boost the SEC. Doesn't mean all the talent went away in the Big 12 right away, at least in softball. So, who you got? Women's College World Series.
Hey, down with Texas. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech. Why not?
Wow. Okay. So no SEC school winning it in their first year.
Yeah, I don't care. It's Texas. Let them lose.
Well, yeah, you're thinking, I guess, with your. I mean, they did beat Oklahoma. Texas Tech could do it, but I was going to say you're probably thinking with your heart over your head a little bit there, but that's fine. I'll go Texas just because I've seen them play. I know what they can do. Really tough lineup, good pitching, play athletes in the field. I'll go Texas, and I think Texas. I'll say Texas beats them because it's best of three, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
I'll go Texas in 2 games. I think Texas gets it done in 2 games. So I'll go Texas in that. Okay. I think there's another big sporting event happening this week in a couple days from now, Thursday. The NBA Finals. It
Oh,
is, yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
Oklahoma's.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, well, there's that too. Is that also Thursday?
I don't know about Thursday, but it's happening. So
It's a really interesting matchup. We can talk about that real quick. Edmonton Oilers. I mean, a storage franchise. Good to see them having success again. That's where Gretzky became Gretzky, at least during his championship run for sure. I mean, his best years were in Edmonton. So it's good to see them relevant again against the defending Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers. I was trying to remember where the Florida Panthers actually like reside, where they play. Something's it's a interest it's a different name. Do you recall that? I'm sure you don't. I'd be shocked if
No,
would you
nope,
like
I do not.
would you like to give that a Google real quick or see if you can beat me to it?
Sure.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, Sunrise, Florida.
Sunrise, Florida.
Yeah. Don't know where that is. I'm going to Destin next month. That's I don't that's it. That's all I got. Trying to zoom out really far.
Yeah, it's probably a ways from
Oh,
Destin.
it's pretty much Miami. Yeah.
Ah,
It's it's kind of right in the corner between or kind of right around Fort Lauderdale and Hollywood, Florida. So it's a but it's around Miami. It's around Miami, Florida. That's where the Florida Panthers are. Makes sense because there's a lot of stuff going on in Miami. I like that. Yeah, put them in Sunrise, Florida. I'm guessing there was a spot for an arena, hockey arena there. So yeah, but that's the Stanley Cup champions. I I don't know anything about either one, but that's not going to stop us from making picks.
yeah.
I always watch. I always try to watch the Stanley Cup final. I watch at least one game typically. Do you have handy when that is?
I
When
do
the
not. I
well,
do not.
you're killing
I
it
just
this
know
week.
that Florida. I just know that Florida scores a lot of goals, and the Oilers have the best player in hockey right now,
Yes,
Connor McDavid.
yeah, you're right.
Jesus,
Yeah, he is the best player. Um, okay, he plays for who?
I thought he played for the Oilers, is he not?
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know. Uh, I mean, that would make sense how Edmonton became relevant again. So it makes sense. Why don't you give that a Google since I got the schedule pulled up right here? Game one of the Stanley Cup final is tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's in Edmonton. Yeah, tomorrow, then game two Friday, game three Monday, and I tried to look up game four and it just took me to the whole schedule.
Yes.
Okay, game four next Thursday, and then game five, if necessary, Saturday, June 14th. Have you figured that out yet? Where Connor McDavid plays?
Yeah,
We obviously know.
he is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers.
Right. And they are going up against the defending Stanley Cup champions. So that was an interesting final last year. I think Florida won the first three games. Then they lost the next three games, and then they won game seven to win the Stanley Cup final. So you'd think all that momentum, losing three in a row, you're like, well, there's no way they're going to win this now. But no, they got it done in game seven. Florida, Edmonton, who we got?
Uh, I don't know. I kind of want to roll with the Oilers just because they've got the best player in hockey. But like I said, all Florida does is score goals. So I don't know. I kind of like the fact that the Stanley Cup is resided outside of Canada the last couple of years. So hopefully it stays outside. I'm going to go with Florida.
Hockey has a lot of parity, which I love about it. There's a reason we haven't seen. I don't know when the last back-to-back Stanley Cup uh, the last back-to-back Stanley Cup champions were. It's it's been a while. It doesn't happen often. It seems like it's a new team every year, and it was Florida last year. It was Tampa Bay recently. It's interesting that some southeast teams are dominant in the NHL. I know it's been a long time since a Canadian team franchise has won it. Now, obviously, in the NHL, there's a lot more American franchises than Canadian, so that makes sense. Um, it's like you said, Florida scores a lot of goals. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick against them, and but I don't know, man. It's like the hockey gods are coming together and saying, you know what, best player in the league, Edmonton storied franchise hasn't won it in a while. It's rare that we get a back-to-back Stanley Cup champion. Screw it. I'm going to go Edmonton. I'm going to go Edmonton in seven
I think
games.
that Vegas would agree with you. The Oilers are a very slim favorite, so yeah, I think they're seeing about what you think in 6 or 7 games.
The thing is, it's the Stanley Cup final. There, it feels like there's always a seventh game. It's not, but it happens quite a bit, and that just goes back to the parity and the it's I don't know, it's exciting. Stanley Cup finals always exciting, even for a very casual hockey fan like myself. But yeah, I'm gonna go Edmonton, best player, storied franchise. How tough it is to repeat, I'll say Edmonton. Edmonton in 7 games. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe back and forth, back and forth. Who knows? I'll go Edmonton in 7. All right, well, let's get out of here with the NBA finals an NBA finals preview. Oklahoma City, Indiana. Indiana, they're a very interesting team. I said I texted my brother via Instagram. I said OKC in 5. Then I watched the Pacers and them taking care of business against the Knicks in Game 6 Saturday night. I was in Memphis watching this watching this game. By the way, it was the night before a half marathon I paced Sunday out at Shelby Farms. Really great day, by the way. Um, but I stayed up to watch the end of that game, and Indiana has like 2004 Pistons vibes to me. They have a clear cut star in Tyrese Halliburton, and just a lot of really good players that play as one. They fit so well together. They play so well together. They're like Mike. The Pacers are like Michael Myers. You cannot kill them. They just keep coming back. When you think they're dead, they come back and then they cut your throat or just stab you, and it's game over. And they end things for you when you think you've got them. The Pacers are like Michael Myers. You can't kill them. And then they come back stronger and then find a way to win. That's Indiana. Having said that, Oklahoma City is so deep and so talented. Their core plays so well together, complement each other so well. And the players around them, the surrounding players, even complimentary wise, just play well with each other. There's a reason both teams are in the championship game. Um, I think OKC from top to bottom is the more talented team, but I think Indiana is so, like I said, that 2004 Pistons vibes, who was a heavy underdog against the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq in 2004. And oh, they went and got Karl Malone and Gary Payton to add to that roster. And Pistons beat them in 5 games. Probably should have swept them. If it wasn't for a last second 3 by Kobe Bryant in game 2, Pistons would have swept them. And then they just dominated in game 5 to win it all. And that team almost went back to back, losing to the Spurs in 7 games in 2005 with a phenomenal fourth quarter from Tim Duncan. But this Pacers team reminds me of that team in that they have a lot of really good players that just complement each other really well and play well together. They play as one unit. I really like this Pacers team, but really like the Oklahoma City Thunder and just think they're the more talented team. So I will go instead of 5, I will say Oklahoma City in 6. What do you say?
I think the Pacers can get 2 games,
I do too.
and I don't see them getting any more than that. If they actually get 2 games, who knows? But I'd have to agree with you on 6.
Yeah, 5. The Pacers are too good to lose 4 or 5. They're too good of just a team to lose 4 or 5. Uh, in Oklahoma City, they will. We saw it against Minnesota. Minnesota in Game 3 blew them out, beat them by about 40. But then Oklahoma City turned around and dominated Game 4. So they can take a punch. Oklahoma City can take a punch. That's what champions do. They find a way to respond when they're faced with adversity. I think Oklahoma City is that. I love this for Oklahoma City because if you thought if Oklahoma City was ever going to get it, and of course we don't know yet for what's going to happen. But the favorite is Oklahoma City. I don't know what Vegas has, but Oklahoma City is the clear cut favorite. Uh, you'd think if Oklahoma City was going to get an NBA championship, it would have been when Durant, Westbrook, and Harden were all on the same team together with Steven Adams and company as your complementary players. 3 Hall of Famers in the backcourt, and you still couldn't win it. Of course, you had to face,
There's good reasons why I couldn't win it.
yeah, you had to face LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh and company.
No.
Just a legitimate super team that ended up winning back to back NBA championships and got there every year. They were together 4 years and won 4 or got to the finals 4 times, winning 2 of them. Uh, Still, you'd still think that Oklahoma City team would be back, but when Harden left, you kind of knew. Well, if you weren't going to win it with Harden, you're not going to win it without him. And yeah, but still, you'd think that would be the team that would get it done. It would be very interesting to see SGA, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and company, and our Jalen Williams from the U of A, the other Jalen Williams. It would be really cool to see that crew be the squad, the team that brings an NBA championship to Oklahoma City. So you and I both have Oklahoma City in 6. We got Hogs this weekend. We'll see what happens. But till then, we'll see y'all next week. We'll recap, well, everything we just talked about and more. But until then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown, big shout out to Frank Ragnow retiring at the age of 29.
Absolutely. We'll pick on that. Heck of a career, both in college and in his time in the pro. So congrats to him on that. But we'll see y'all next time. Deuces, y'all.
Peace.